Key Concept 1.3 is mostly about the first societies that occurred because of agriculture, just how they were and what they did and how they survived. So the first Roman numeral is just how the different places had different societies because of the surplus caused by agriculture. Second Roman numeral is about the different states and their rulers. A lot of the rulers were seen as gods, or at least had that people that had godly powers, and all social classes developed, and then people were trying to expand their societies and get more land. Also, new technologies were developed by pastoralists, so they had the composite bow, iron weapons, chariot, and horseback riding, which made trade and travel easier. And then culture, which includes things like architecture, language, and religions, were also developed and also became a big part of society. These are some vocabulary that you need to know to understand this: civilization, cultural hearths, city-states, labor systems, cultural diffusion, theocracies, law codes, social mobility, and the patriarchy. This is a timeline about the different societies that were developed because of agriculture. And these are the maps of migrations. Basically, people moved from where they started for some reason, and they moved to another place and diffused culture. There's some helpful videos on different societies that were caused because of agriculture. Both ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia are included. Some primary sources for this time are Hammurabi's Code. It was a law code developed in Mesopotamia by Hammurabi, and it was basically about revenge, like an eye for an eye. So if you do something bad, you're punished in just the same way. And the Vedas, they were religious texts for Hinduism, or at least the early parts of Hinduism, and it was just showed how language was developed and led to religious codes, and people were living together, which contributed to new religions. Some evidence for this time period. The first piece is, both of the pieces are just maps of the different societies and where they were. And they were formed because agriculture provided a surplus of food, which allowed people to settle, which was kind of covered in Key Concept 1.2. The second ones were the chariot, which was invented by pastoralists, and it made travel and trade easier because it used horses instead of all just manpower, and it also utilized the wheel, which was a development back in Key Concept 1.2. And then the second one was a pharaoh, because it shows a leader that claimed divine power. He was seen as a god, or at least a divine person, so he was very important to that culture, and he led them. Third was the pyramids, because it was a big piece of architecture and a big piece of their culture. And the second is a cuneiform, which shows the development of language, because it led to law codes like Hammurabi's law, and the societies also had record keeping because of language.